We are recording. Excellent. Can you all hear me okay? Awesome stuff. So, welcome to this question and answer session. We're due to run for a maximum of 90 minutes. We don't have to run for 90 minutes if we don't want to, but I'll tell you one thing, we're not running more than 90 minutes. Even if it's a really important question, you got 90 minutes to ask it, which means we're going to take it in turns. So what you need to do is, if you've got 75 questions, I'm not going to let you answer them all in one go so that everybody gets a chance to ask their questions. You cannot do a two-part question because that is cheating, Cap Tyler, because I know you're thinking about it. You're going to do a two-part question and you'll therefore defeat my sister. I'm only kidding. So no two-part questions, like, because that would be cheating. And I don't like cheaters. They never prosper. That's what people say, but you often find that they do. But anyway, I digress. So who would like, oh, by the way, also, please can we not put questions in the chat because the chat will not be saved and therefore visible to people watching this as a recording. And I'm not going to be trawling through and like then picking out the questions from the text chat. So if you have a question, it has to be an in-person out loud question. Do not put it in the chat. Okay? Fabulous. So with an orderly raise of hands, my darlings, who has the first question? Music team can ask questions as well. If you think there's something that hasn't been asked, you can ask a question even if you know the answer.
Kerry?
I'll get mine out of the way very quickly, thank you. I was just wondering, is the Saturday evening show performance being recorded so there may be a chance of us being able to have it put onto a CD for us to buy afterwards?
Yes, it will be, it will be streamed, therefore it will be recorded. I don't know with technicals whether it will be like audio recorded like I'd sometimes like to, because but it will be streamed and therefore that will be available directly afterwards. So that will be available to view on YouTube because we're going to be streaming the show like freely available on YouTube. So that will be available. Yes. I don't know whether there's going to be an audio version of it because that would need another separate computer audio setup. So therefore, there's quite a lot on our plates technically. So I don't think we're going to record it separately for that. Arthur.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, back that up. Currently, there is no plan to do that level of audio recording.
No, there's too many things to do. So yeah, but you will get a video of it. And we've already started planning how we're going to mic that up for the stream. The stream will have a specific mic setup. So we're going to be tweaking that and making sure the stream sounds great. From within the studio, some within the theatre. Cool.
Thank you for asking my question.
No worries. Next question, lovelies. Why are you here? If you're not going to answer questions, ask questions. Or are you all just scared because you're not sure if it's a silly question? Go on. Whoever thinks they've got a really silly question, and ask it now, and I'll tell you it's not silly. Right, Debbie Toy. There you go, Debbie Toy.
Okay, my spouseling is coming with me. Is there a nearby watering hole when he wants to ditch out?
Yes.
Close to the little theater.
Yes, there is. There are some places. What I can do is, when you get there, if you have a chat with me, because I'll be there, I will probably be able to tell him, depending on the kind of place he wants to go to. So if he likes watching sports, I can point him to somewhere that's like a nice enough place to go. If he wants to go somewhere that does like nice relays and kind of like that kind of stuff, I can kind of give an idea as well and then point him in the direction. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. So
Perfect.
There's some places that you wouldn't want to go to just because they're fine. They're more local places for local people. But yeah, so yeah, we can give him a place to go to.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Sarah Lake, I think, popped her hand up.
I did. Will there be bubbling devices available for those of us who are invading England from across the pond if we don't feel like, or if we can't pack them for our trip?
Well, interesting question. Donna Walsh is looking at buying some chunky straws. So some chunky straws, and we'll be having bottles of water for sale, we hope. Well, we think we're pretty much sure we'll be able to have bottles of water. So you can buy a bottle of water, drink half of it, and then buy a straw and stick a straw in a half bottle of water. Then you're fine. The only thing you got to do, Sarah, is then after you've bubbled into it, don't then drink the water. Doesn't taste very nice. So, but yeah, so that is the plan, is that yes, we will have bubbling devices. But if you've got your own already, folks, and you want to bring them, feel free. But we will hopefully have those for you if you want. They won't be like the official fancy fangled. They'll be chunky straws because the official ones are quite expensive. So we're gonna do our own thing. Excellent.
Thank you.
If at any point, Debbie, you want us to slow down because you're writing answers down, just kind of say like, hold on, and we'll hold on before the next question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm typing, secretary here, typing straight into a document.
That's fine. Jobs are good, my darling. Jobs are good. Okay, next question.
Eileen Ainsworth had a question, I think.
Excellent. Eileen Ainsworth.
Oh, thank you, Simon. I want to thank you for all you've done. It's just possible I might not be able to come. So,
what? No. Just let me stop you there. We'll come and collect you. I will carry you and I'll piggyback you. I'll carry you in my arms.
I can't walk at the moment, Simon.
So, well, that's why I'll carry you then. Okay. Yes.
So,
Sorry. What's your question?
So I'm just wondering. You know, I have booked and everything, but
yeah.
If I need to get onto the online version, do I have a code? How do I?
It will be freely available on YouTube, and it'll all be put on the Facebook page. So it's not locked down. So if you've watched any of the videos today on Mr. Lub Music, that YouTube channel, everything will be free and open on that channel. So all the online stream will just appear on that channel, and you'll just be able to click and watch it. But I would say as well, it might be again, but there's lifts in the little theatre. And if there's any kind of accommodations we can make to get you there, Eileen, then we would definitely want to support.
Sorry, I just don't want to cry. I'm sorry. I just don't want to cry.
No. But if there is anything we can do just let us know, because there is things we can look at. And I think, you know, we'd love to have you there. So if there is stuff we can do, then obviously we can look at it.
I'm just so grateful. I'm just so thankful. So thank you. But I'm doing my best. My best.
Well, that's all we can do. We can only do our best.
Thank you,
and your best is always good enough.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Arthur.
And I can bring a wheelchair if required.
Yeah. So, we'll have a little chat, Eileen. We might get in contact with you and see if there's anything we do to help. So, but no pressure. If you want to do online, that's fine. But if we can help, we definitely will. Other questions, my lovelies? Laura Fisher.
Is it okay to ask a train question?
Of course it is.
Okay. Can we get a train from Paddington Station to Leicester, or do we have to go to St. Pancras? And if we have to go to St. Pancras, do we have to buy the tickets in advance, or can we just get a ticket when we get to the station?
Arthur?
No, you cannot get a train directly from Paddington. You do have to go to St. Pancras. Yes, you can buy tickets at the time, but they will be significantly more expensive if you buy them at the station. If you download, there are loads of places to get it. And one of the cheapest is one called the Train Line, and even at just a few minutes before the train, you can still get cheaper prices through that, and you can just get it on a device.
Because my concern was, being on a plane and timing, I can't buy. I'm afraid to buy a ticket for a specific time because who knows if I'll be there then.
You can do it while you're waiting for your baggage.
Okay. All right, that's good to know.
Yeah,
thank you.
You can just log on then, and you'll have you'll know better when you're likely to want the train as well, because it's a good idea to book a seat.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
At the moment. Yeah.
Thank
you. Debs Lindsay, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Thank you very much. So I bought a super off-peak train and it's for any time.
Yeah.
So that was to allow for the
Yeah.
airplane. But my question is, I think Sue Priestley had sent me a little picture of the lifts going from St. Pancras Underground to the train station seemed pretty complicated to me. And I know the signs will be in English and everybody there will be in English. That's better than Turkey. But it seemed pretty complicated. And I'm wondering if someone...
In what way complicated?
Well, Sue wrote that you have to take like 3 different lifts to go.
You mean to get out of the underground?
Yeah, to the train up to the train station.
Yeah, it's
escalators. It's easy.
Yeah, it's
and
escalators.
Well,
so
there are escalators.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, there's escalators. So no, that's nice and simple. So it'll be escalator, and hence it's the only escalator up. You just go on the escalator up, and that's it. There is a little bit of a walk when you get to King's Cross, because King's Cross St Pancras is like 2 stations next to each other that you've got to walk way underneath. That is a little bit of a walk from the King's Cross Underground station where you come up to get to where the train to Leicester is, the St Pancras one, is a bit of a walk. It's maybe 5 minutes walk, but it's very well signposted and you can't really get lost at that point. But it is a little bit of a walk. But yeah, but don't worry. And you're right, the off-peak or super off-peak train tickets, you can get them in advance, and that allow you to get on any train that's off-peak. But if you've got other questions about trains, we can look at that. I don't drive, so I get more trains than I would like to get. So I'm used to the joys of train fare. Arthur has his hand up.
Both at King's Cross and in St Pancras, you'll see people wearing coloured bibs who are there to help you find where you need to go. Yeah, so you just ask them. They're very recognisable.
Yeah.
And then in the train, second question.
That's a follow-on question. So think it and then comment in a bit. You see, almost had a follow-up question. Let's have a look round. Any hands? Kerry Lavington, have you a second one, my love?
It's not a second question. It's just to carry on from what Debs was just saying and what Arthur was saying. As a disabled person, I have to use the assisted travel all the time, and I only travel by train too. So you just go up to anybody wearing one of the colour bibs that says assistance. So that's just people with a disability, and they will literally escort you through any airport, any train station, and take you in the lifts with them. So that's very, very helpful too.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump to Eliz Dwyer because it might be to do with that.
How did you guess, Simon? It is to do with that. I always book assistance with my train travel. They will take you to find your seat. They will take your luggage on the train for you. They'll be there if you've got to change. So you can book that in advance if you know what trains you're traveling on. If you don't know what trains you're traveling on, you can still ask when you get there, so that people that, but if you can, they like you to book in advance. So it's just to say there is a telephone number. I travel with assistants all the time. They're excellent. They'll take you in a wheelchair if you need a wheelchair. They will put your luggage in. They will get a seat for you. They're really, 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 really useful. So it's just to add to what Kerry was saying, really.
Excellent. Just to follow up on that, Kerry.
If anybody wants help, I did actually help Tina, and I did all of her assistance for her and booked it, and then just sent it to her in an email with it all booked. So if anybody needs the assistance, I can make phone calls for them, get everything done for them, knowing what airport they're coming from, what train stations they're going to be arriving at, and I will sort it all out and forward it to you.
Great stuff.
If that helps.
Yep, thank you very much. Debbie Toy has her hand up. And then Aviva.
This is mostly for the Americans traveling over there. The Brits, you guys probably already know this, but they have something when you buy tickets at tourist sites, and like I bought some for Churchill War Rooms in London, and they have a category called concessions. Here in the United States, concessions is where you go to buy your candy, popcorn, and soft drinks. for the shows. In the UK, it is the disability seniors rate and stuff like that. So if it's offered and you see it, take advantage of it if you can. Just something I've learned.
Yeah. And there is stuff, and it's gone on the page, but we can always add this information that you're buying train tickets and you are over the age, I think it's 60 or 65, you can get a card which gives you money off train fare. You have to work it out yourself to work out, because you have to pay for that card. If the card costs like 20 quid, you just need to make sure you're going to save £20 in the money you're saving to get the card. But again, we can put information out on that. We can add that in the documentation. But there are some things. There's also one called Two Together. So even if you're not over 60, you're traveling with someone else, you can actually get a card that will give both of you a discount as long as you're traveling together. But that does mean you need to travel back together as well. But there are some discount things. I am not available. I can't get any of the discounts because I'm not old enough, too old, don't travel with other people, and yeah, so I'm out of luck. But you might be lucky, so you never know. Aviva.
There we go. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Looking at, well, we were talking about lifts and things like that. Looking at 52, what are the methods of getting up to those rooms? Are there escalators or an elevator?
There is not at 52. The only thing that is happening at, 52 up, the only two things are happening at 52 up is the youth a cappella workshop and the men's changing room. Ladies' changing room is downstairs, because I didn't know of any gents who had mobility issues, but I was aware of ladies that have mobility issues. But you don't have to use those places for dressing room. You can go back to your hotel, or if there was real problems with that, we could find somewhere for people to get changed if they wanted within the little theatre on that level. But generally 52 up is being used the least of any area, because there is a flight of stairs up there. But that's what we're looking at. So I think so bass and tenor sectionals are at 52 down. It's only a couple of things: dressing room for men, youth a cappella as the only two things where you have to go up the stairs. Next question, my lovelies. Who's next up? John Wanless.
Yeah, so they may not be aware of the yellow shirt phenomenon that's going to be going on too. So you might want to explain the yellow shirts and what.
I'll explain the yellow shirt now, folks. You might have ordered a T-shirt. Now, your T-shirts are going to be a lovely kind of shade of blue if you've ordered an attendee T-shirt. And no, if you don't like blue, you can't get a different colour. So, well, you know, that's the way. They're not black though, Kath Tyler. So I know you don't like black. So we didn't go for black because I thought that you would be like sad. You'd be sad having to wear black. The music team will all have like green T-shirts, just because they're music team and they're special and they deserve it. So it's like blue ones that have been put in the wash a little bit with some yellow socks, like that, basically. However, there will be special people in the music team who will be wearing yellow T-shirts. They are people who we're phrasing as workers, and they are there to support you in anything, as long as it's legal, anything that you need support with. So there will be people in yellow T-shirt, yellow Collective Live T-shirts on the front reception. There'll be ones kind of selling refreshments and doing merchandise. There'll be some people in yellow T-shirts wandering around the theatre in the different areas. And if you need any support in anything, you can ask one of those people in a yellow T-shirt at any point during the weekend for assistance or help or information, and they will give you the information, or if they don't know it, they will ask another yellow shirt person for that information. And if worst comes to the worst, well, it won't, because they'll know the answers. So you do have helpers throughout the entire weekend at multiple places in the venue. So if you need anything, you can always ask anyone in a yellow shirt. The flip side of that is, though, that if there is a music team member who isn't wearing a yellow shirt, you might want to try and find someone who is wearing a yellow shirt first, because that music team member might have been wearing a yellow shirt for the last 5 hours and might be on a break. So just be aware that if they've got a yellow shirt, they're fair game to ask them whatever you like. But if they're not wearing a yellow shirt, you might, obviously if it's an emergency, just bloody ask anyone. But if it's like a question of like, can you tell me where XYZ is, or have you got a spare timetable? Someone not wearing a yellow shirt might be on a break, or might have booked themselves into attend a session themselves and have a little bit of time off. Like, you know, I know it's very greedy of them to have time off during the weekend, but they might need some. So yeah, yellow shirts are there to help you. Next questions. Kath Tyler, then Carol Gass.
Talking about clothes and wearing black, funnily enough, Lux a cappella, do you want us to wear our Lux clothes? In which case, when do we get time to go and change, etc.? Is that all planned in?
Okay, Kath Tyler. No, it hasn't really been planned in, and you can wear what you like. So if you're there with collective stuff, you can wear what you like. I'm not going to moan at you. I think it's a collective event, so I would say you're more likely to wear your collective stuff. And if therefore you're in Lux and your collective stuff, absolutely fine. It'll only be the ones who in Lux who aren't involved in collective. We'll probably tell them to wear their black and gold. But if you're a collective person, you can just keep your collective t-shirts or whatever you want on, Kath, and that's absolutely fine. So because there won't really be much time to go and get changed midway through the show, because then you'll miss
That's what I thought.
So I'd say
I
anybody in
couldn't
Lux
work it
who
out.
wants to wear their collective stuff through the whole show will be absolutely fine, because it is the collective event as opposed to anything else.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Carol Gass, you beautiful creature.
Thank you. Well, that just set my brain back. I can't handle this. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. So I'm not concerned about this, but in the States, we have places called like emergency care centers, primary care centers, whatever. If something happens there, is there something really close to the little theater that we could go and visit? And will there be a list or how to get whatever?
Yes.
Just in case. You know.
Yeah, there is, there will be, I'll find exactly where it is, but there'll be, Arthur.
If you're from the United States, you will have to go to the emergency department of the local hospital, not to one of the primary care facilities, because they are not insured to see you. Okay, so their medical insurance will not cover them seeing you. So if you're from the United States, then you will have to go to the local hospital emergency room.
And that is from the little theatre, a mile. It's not very far. So it's not very far at all. The nearest one's Leicester Royal Infirmary, which is, it's a mile. So if there was an emergency of that sort, we would find a way of getting you there, because at the moment, ambulance is definitely not the way to try and get to the hospital at the moment in this country. So if there was an emergency, we would get people there, and we would get them to the hospital. And it's not very far. It's not very far at all. Might even be less than a mile, actually. Debbie has a hand up.
Yeah, this is not finalised yet, but we were talking about putting numbers like that possibly in your welcome pack, maybe even on the back of your pass. So we said we'd put that and the local pharmacy and stuff like that. So hopefully we're going to be able to collate that for you somewhere that's on your person all the time. So we just started
hopefully
talking about
back of the lanyard, isn't it? I think you said possibly back of the lanyard.
Back here, So.
Yeah, back of your lanyard, you'll have some like emergency numbers. We'll probably give you a couple of mobile numbers of collective music team, like that you can kind of also ring if there's issues. So you can let us know if there's issues from wherever you are in hotels or whatever. Then so we can probably, we don't know what those numbers will be yet, but we'll probably find a couple of numbers that will be available, and we'll make sure those people have got their phones on, not on silent, and plugged in, batteried up and stuff like that. So we'll give those, we'll give that information. Next, Sue Talbot.
Hello. I know there's going to be YouTube streaming, but will there be Zoom rooms available for those of us in the online community to just meet and talk and visit with each other?
Yes. Yeah, there will be Zoom rooms. There'll be a Zoom room for the show, a specific Zoom room for the show. So you can all basically be in a Zoom room watching the show if you're online. There obviously will be YouTube, the YouTube stream. Now there's a couple of ways we can do it, but we could potentially watch the YouTube. You could watch the YouTube stream in a Zoom room and therefore kind of in between stuff, kind of be chatting and whatever if you wanted to. But there will also be, I'm not phrasing it as dead time, but there's some sessions which won't be streamed. So there will be periods of time where there might want to be like a Zoom room open. And again, I'm assuming that we'd use room 1 and we'd have the standard kind of codes that members of music team, possibly like yourself or other members of music team, might be able to open up and man, so that singers who are online can pop in and say, oh, did you see that education session? Or all those kind of things. In between those times. So yes is the answer. Yeah, there will be the ability to use Zoom throughout, and we'll be kind of making sure that online, the people who are attending online can hopefully man most of those sessions, and we can pop them on the members page. And if people know it's always the same code, then it's just the same code. They can come and if there's a room open, they'll be let in. And if for whatever reason at that point there isn't, it'll say the meeting hasn't started yet. And they know that at that point there isn't. But obviously, if we can get a timetable out, that would be cool as well.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Next question. Debs Lindsay, what was your other question, my lovely? Because you've not asked your second one because you've been really well behaved.
Thank you. I've been internally. So another question is, I'm pretty sure it's a train question. The train from St. Pancras to Leicester does not require changing trains. Is that correct?
Nope, it's about an hour, and it's basically an hour. Sometimes it's no stops. Sometimes it goes directly from London to Leicester, and sometimes it might stop, but you don't have to get off it. Once you're on at St. Pancras, you then get off at Leicester about an hour later.
And in your something you said, so it's Leicester Station, not Leicester.
Yeah, not Leicester Square.
That's the one
Leicester
in London.
Square is an underground station. So when you're looking, when you go into like a train app, sometimes if you type Leicester, it will sometimes go Leicester Square, and then you're finding directions to go to Leicester Square Underground Station in the middle of London, which is
right.
Not
that's where you get the half-price tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd get to go and watch a show, but it's maybe not the show you want to watch. So so that's just if people think, oh, maybe there's a Leicester Square station. Definitely not. It's just Leicester. And if you type in LEI, that's the short code for Leicester Station. So if you do LEI, then it'll bring up Leicester, not Leicester Square. So.
Okay.
Cool. Next question from Karen Penketh.
Hi there.
Hello.
My question is, if we are bringing with us our hangers-on, other partners, etc., who have not registered, and they want to come and see the show, can they get tickets? Tickets are available?
Tickets are available. I think tickets are available from now, or if not, it'll be in a day or two. I know that, in fact, I think no, tickets are available. Tickets are available from now. So yes, they can go to the Little Theatre website, and the poster we're going to be sharing and setting up an event is freely available to buy a ticket. Tickets are £10 or £5 for under 26s. And you can buy a ticket and come and watch the show if you're not attending. And the positive is, after the show, we're not kicking them out, so they can stay for the Afterglow. So the Afterglow from 10 o'clock till 11:30 or whatever it is, they can stay and have some drinks and have some chats, but mainly because logistically trying to chase around people and chase them out of a venue after they've had a concert is basically going to be impossible anyway. So let's just have some fun and have a few drinks and we'll be fine. So yes, they can buy tickets and they're available from now. I think it's littletheatre.co.uk. They can go and buy tickets.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Melanie.
Does everyone know what an Afterglow is?
I mentioned it in my video. And if they didn't watch it, well, they're terrible people. An Afterglow is just thing that happens in barbershop circles after concert or performance. So basically drinking, talking, possibly singing, that kind of stuff. It's very fun. You just sit around and drink and talk. You can drink non-alcoholic drinks. I'll be having beer. But then you just talk and sing and do things and have fun and say, wasn't today brilliant? And I'm really tired and I'm going to go to bed soon. And then 3 hours later, you find yourself in a club in the middle of Leicester, dancing to 1990s music, wondering why you're out at 3 o'clock in the morning when you've got to run a vocal warm-up at 9:30 the next day, or the same day as will happen. So, I mean, you know, that's what I'm planning on doing anyway, but you don't have to necessarily do that. But yeah, Afterglow just means party. Right. Carol Gass has hand up. Second question, Carol Gass.
Yes. So you said something about staying up till 3 a.m. in the morning. What time do local establishments close?
The latest place you can get in Leicester closes at 7 a.m. You might not want to be in there at 7 a.m. though. That's called the Basement Club. And let's just say the clientele might be a slightly different demographic than most of our Collective Live members. But quite a lot of bars will open until midnight, 1 a.m. You'll get, again, hotel bars will often open later. So if you're in a hotel, you'll often be able to drink a little bit later, possibly, or stay up a little bit later. So yeah, so again, one thing we will be doing is if people want to be going out and having some drinks or after like closing time, we'll kind of say to people, well, maybe people might want to go to this kind of place, and this is a nice kind of place, not somewhere that would have malcontents and dodgy people, Carol Gass, because obviously you just want to spend time with the nice, genteel people. Yes. But yeah, so different places open till different times. There's no one set closing time in the UK anymore. So it used to be that everywhere shut at 11 o'clock. Nowadays, they just apply for a late license and they stay open basically as long as they want. In some places you probably wouldn't want to go to, but we'll let you know where to stay out of, unless you really want to go somewhere a little bit like that, and then I'll let you know the best places. Carol Gass, 7 a.m. Yeah. Susan Campbell will be there as well. Next question, my lovelies. Laura Fisher.
Oh, and just to follow up on the husbands that are coming with us, I actually paid for my husband to participate, even though I'm not sure he's really going to. But does that include, I assume, a ticket for the concert? And yes. Will he need to have something to show for that, or
well, he will get a welcome pack, whether he wants one or not. He'll get one, so he'll have he'll have the lanyard, and he'll be able to come and go as he pleases. So he'll be able to go into the venue, have lunch with you, sit down, go to any of the sessions, go to education, come to the show. All that's included in the registration. So he'll be able to spend as much or as little time as he likes in the venue, but he doesn't have to buy a show ticket on top of it. Show tickets only for people who aren't coming for the entire weekend, so they can still come and maybe watch the show. But they won't be allowed in, just to make sure you're aware. Someone's coming to the show, they won't be allowed in before 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, and that's the only time they'll be able to come in, because the other times is only for attendees. So it's not like someone can rock up on the Friday night and think they can come in. They'd have to actually buy a day ticket, pay money to get in at that point. So just be aware that if you've got friends and you think, I'm going to get them to come on Friday night and come into the venue, they wouldn't be able to get in on Friday, just the Saturday for that show. And if they buy tickets with a big sing, they'd get in between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock on Sunday for that event. But again, your husband will be able to do that anyway, because he's got a registration.
Okay, I thought so, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, good questions. All of them good questions. Aviva?
For those who don't already know, where will there be somewhere to put things that you have with you while you are at the venue, but not in that space?
There will. We are going to have yellow t-shirt people in charge of Cloakroom, and there will be a room. We don't know which room yet, but there will be a cloakroom. There is a cloakroom in the Little Theatre. I just don't quite know how big it is. I'm not sure if, so if you maybe, it's quite big, is it, Debbie? Yeah. So if, for example, I'll give you an example. Say that you turn up on the Friday, you can't book in your hotel until 3 p.m., but you get to the train station at like 9 o'clock in the morning. You've got your luggage with you, and you're not going to be, and your hotel doesn't have like a bag drop facility. A lot of them do, but say that they didn't, or you couldn't get in. You would be able to bring your stuff, your luggage, and whatever, and we would put it in a cloakroom and lock it up. However, the cloakroom, it's not manned for the entirety of the time. So basically there'll be someone on hand later on in the day to open it back up again. So if you put your handbag in there and then every half an hour you want to get back in the cloakroom to get in your handbag to then take something out and then get it locked back up again, you're going to not make friends with yellow shirt music team workers if you're doing that. But if you've got luggage, if you've got like anything you brought with you that you want to keep there for the day, yes, there will be cloakroom facilities. And yes, we can take it in and put it, and it will be secure, because when it's not, it basically will be locked and music team will be able to access it. No one else will. Next question. Kath Tyler.
I'm tempted to sing it, but I won't. Luxe, I'm back to Luxe again. People who are in Luxe, but not in Collective, do they have to pay £10 if they want to see the whole show?
No.
Great.
No, because it's one of my shows, Kath. So when they're not performing, I'm going to basically bug them. I'm going to bug them in there. The only thing would be, and I don't think it will happen, the only thing would be if we end up selling out the tickets. Even then, we'd put there, basically the little theatre can hold, I think, 349 people. I think we're going to maybe have 130, I wouldn't say more than maybe 130 attendees. We're only selling, I think, about 110 tickets because it's the back area of the auditorium. So there should still be 100 seats where actually the attendees are singing for Luxe to kind of sneak in the back there and sit down. So I don't think there's any issues. Even if we sell out the ticketed part, performers will be able to sit in the auditorium and watch the show, and that's absolutely fine. If they're performing, then they can sit and watch the show. They won't be backstage or anything because there's no one to look after them backstage. So they'll sit in the auditorium or leave.
Great. I've got another question, but I'll wait.
Well, that's good because you're following the rules. I'm loving it. We're following the rules more than usual today. What's happened to us? Normally we break all the rules, but there we go. Next question. Kathy Benfield.
On the subject of the big sing, having missed your video earlier because I was still working, if we've got friends who want to come along on the Sunday, are they available through Little Theatre as well?
Yes, they will be there. Now, I don't know if they're available yet, but it will be within a day or so because I've just confirmed like the details. They've got the poster, they've got the information, they've got the timing. So yes, and again, it's £10. It starts at 2. And they'll probably be able to get in the venue from maybe 1:30, and it finishes at 6. And we also will not be really chasing them away afterwards. So yeah, it goes 2 till 6, and there's a break at about 3:30 for kind of drinks, and like a drink and a bit of a breather. And yes, they can just buy a ticket, come along to that workshop, and yeah, and do the big sing songs. There's 2 songs that we'll be doing in that.
You haven't told us what those are yet, have you?
Well, I have in the video. One of them is a song that the youth chorus did, which is All These Things That I've Done, which is a fun song to sing. It's definitely a fun song to sing. And there's a new arrangement of A Million Dreams. Well, a tweaked new arrangement of A Million Dreams from Greatest Showman. So they're the 2 songs we're working on. You will get learning resources beforehand, but we're pretty confident that we'll be able to pretty much learn it even if people haven't looked at it beforehand. But as ever, if you do have a little listen beforehand, that's maybe going to help things a little bit. But yeah, everyone who books and gets a ticket will be sent the learning resources.
Lovely, thank you.
No worries at all. Next question. Because if you don't, oh, Paula Allen, then Sue Talbot.
Is there Wi-Fi in the Little Theatre?
Well, yes. However, and I'll be honest here, yes, there is. I don't know whether we're going to be able to let members use it because that is what we are using for the streaming. So we really need all the bandwidth. So if we give 150 attendees the little theatre Wi-Fi, it's probably going to make the online streaming not work. So if that makes sense, because that is that's the internet connection we're using for all the online streaming. So even though there is Wi-Fi, I think it's only sensible to say that we really need to make sure that is being used just for the online streaming.
So if we are being taught a new song and we would be sent resources for that showman song, then we would download it maybe at our hotel and then have that available.
We'll be sending out for members, for attendees. I'm going to probably give that out within the next day or two. So it'll be out probably before a lot of people travel. But yeah, if you're in a hotel, they'll have Wi-Fi. Actually, in quite a lot of places in Leicester, there is actually free Wi-Fi. These little BT things, and actually you can just connect to them and they've got free Wi-Fi anyway. So there's loads of free Wi-Fi around. It's just I don't want to give the password out for Little Theatre because I don't want people who are online to miss out of the online streaming. So that's kind of hopefully understandable. So, but yeah, so we'll send it the resources out and you can download them and then have a listen beforehand. No worries. Sue Talbot.
Once again, question about the online peeps. You just said that the resources for the songs will be available to people who registered, but there's no registration for online people. So do we get them? Or
well,
how do you want to handle that?
This is the thing. The Big Sing doesn't necessarily work in the same way for online attendees because there's no real pre-recording option. So although we're doing that for Just Look Around You, we're going to stream the Big Sing performance, but there isn't any, I don't see any point. There isn't really any efficacy in streaming the Big Sing because, well, one, we'll be in 4 places and doing sectionals, and 52 Up and Down haven't got internet and we won't be streaming from them. So whilst we could stream, we wouldn't be able to stream all the areas. So the Big Sing is one of those kind of in-person things. And we'll make sure there's other stuff happening during that period of time. So that's when some of the things I talked about, the kind of video diary things and things like interviews. There might be kind of interviews and other stuff that we put out there on the stream so that therefore there's things for online attendees to do. And we will be streaming the performance of the Big Sing. And hence then if people at home, I can put the resources out for online attendees and they can kind of have a listen to the song and have a learn of it. But the best we can do maybe is them singing along at home while everyone else.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to submit a recording. It just would be nice to be able to see and listen and learn it, because who knows if it comes back around. You never know. You never know.
But yeah, so we definitely do the performance, and we can definitely still provide those resources for online attendees. That's no worries at all. But we haven't got the tech to stream from 4 places at once.
I didn't mean to imply that. I just meant as far as
that's right. Just
being familiar with it.
I did think about it, but then we kind of thought we don't have the ability to stream from 52 Up and Down because it's in a different building. So it wouldn't have the same internet, and we don't have the tech or the manpower to stream from 4 places simultaneously. But yeah, we'll put the online stuff out for those songs to online attendees.
Thank you.
Susan Campbell, Collective Live 2. Let's get through the first one first, please. And no using the chat. Naughty Susan Campbell. Waiting room for you.
You probably said not to use the chat, but I signed in late, so I didn't know that.
Oh, so you're late, and then you therefore don't get told off because you were late and didn't get the memo. That's doubly bad.
Who can I blame? Ian, can I blame you? Oh, no.
I don't think so. Let's just blame Mike Dodd. Sorry, Mike Dodd. Much love, my friend. What's the next question, lovelies? Sarah.
In your last video, you showed places where we can go to eat. Are there any, I don't know if you call them pharmacies or drugstores out there, but are there any pharmacies or drugstores nearby if we need to get any like emergency things?
We can give, there's Boots, which is probably the easiest one to get to. I would say from the Little Theatres, 3 minutes walk. So if you think about the video I shared, as you walk, if you turn left out the little theatre, you then turn left and go down that road. And a couple of minutes down that road is a big Boots, which has a pharmacy and all the paraphernalia you could ever need and all that stuff. So yeah, Boots is probably the easiest, nearest one, and it's about maybe a 3-minute walk away.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we're staying at the Premier Inn, so.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's
Thank
not
you.
very. Again, it's the opposite direction to the Premier Inn, but it's still only a 3-minute walk from the little theatre. It's not far. So yeah, it's really not far.
Great, thank you.
Leicester, thankfully, is quite a small city, so you can walk past most of the shops in Leicester in about 5 minutes. So it's not very big. Next question. Deb Linzer.
It's my third. Is it allowed? I spaced them out.
Yeah, we didn't put a limit. We just said you couldn't ask 2 in a row.
Oh, okay, great. Great. I'll set my timer. So I also am staying at the Premier Inn, as are plenty of people. And I'm just wondering if eventually, like after everybody checks in and has a room, and we don't have everybody's cell phone, is there a way of, I'm actually probably sure that you're working on something to coordinate with other people staying there for going to the theater or walking home late at night, more importantly?
Walking home late at night, we will have information once people have all set. If you haven't, by the way, folks, fill in your attendee form information, because not everyone has still done that. That's the one where you actually say what hotel you're staying at. So therefore, when we've got that information, we will be able to say X number of people are staying at Premier Inn. And again, walking home at night, there probably will be the ability to say to people, if you're going, but again, if you want some support with that, there's always a possibility, if it's like at the end of the night, if there's no other sessions going on, I'm sure there's a member of music team that will be able to walk you back to the Premier Inn. It's a 3-minute walk, so it's no problem. So if there's not other members there who are walking back at the same time, there's always going to be a music team member who'll be able to wander back with you, possibly 2 of them, so that someone can wander back with them. Otherwise, wouldn't that be an ironic thing? Debbie takes Deb's Linzer home and then gets mugged on the way back from the little. Well, you wouldn't mess with Debbie, trust me. No, she's always weaponized. She's full of sound and fury, signifying everything.
Can I just say at this point, though, I walk around Leicester City on my own all the time, at all times of day and night, and I've never had a minute's problem. So
because everyone knows you're northern, they keep away from you. So yeah, Leicester, I mean, there's generally, there is kind of homeless people and stuff, but it's not a problematic city. It's not a place in the city centre where you have to worry. It's like the direction you'll be going is a main street. It's a main street in Leicester, which is CCTV. It's like, it's a busy street from the point of view, you're not going to be going in a quiet road or anything like that. So, but there'll always be someone, if you want someone to walk with you, then we'll be able to sort that out. Again, at the end of the day, we might have to look at it if it was in the middle of the day, but we could still probably find someone to wander with you to the hotel if you needed to in the middle of the day, because that's what we're there for. Any other questions, lovelies? Never. We've never sorted all the questions out. There must be others. I mean, I'm not complaining because we're only 50 minutes in, so we're just past halfway. So we're doing well. Kath Tyler. Who knew?
It's not really
about luck.
No, it's not.
I was going to say if it was, I was going to ban you. Sorry.
It is about the performance, though, and I'm literally fascinated to know if we are most of us, presumably, we can't all fit on the stage. So, are we going to be?
That's what you think, Kath Tyler?
Really?
Well, at the moment, this is not a guarantee because we need to practice it. But at the moment, the numbers we've got, the Little Theatre and I are confident that for some of the show, some of our songs, we will all be able to go on stage and sing.
Brilliant.
On risers. I'm bringing all my choral risers. I've got 6 4-step risers. So the idea is we will hopefully, for some of the songs, not all of the songs, be on stage, on risers, on the flat, on the floor, and we'll be singing on the stage to whatever audience there is. Some of the things will be sung from the auditorium, from in your seats, but some of them will be sung on stage where everybody gets up on stage. If we suddenly have an influx of attendees and we suddenly get past the number that can fit on the stage, we already have a plan that we would basically have half of everybody they're up there for a couple of the songs, and we've already planned which these are, and then the other half for another couple of the songs, but we're pretty confident we'll fit everybody on for the songs that we want everybody up there for.
You're just amazing, you know, not just
no,
you and the
everybody's
team.
bloody amazing. Everyone's
You really
doing an
have
awful lot
thought
of
of
work.
everything, haven't you?
Well,
you.
we
That's
hope we've thought of
fantastic.
everything, or I'm just really good at lying. There you go.
Okay.
It's not that, by the way.
I haven't noticed you doing that before. Anyway.
No, well, that's
Thank
just because
you.
I'm really good at it, Kath.
Thanks.
Next question, lovelies. Looking around. Oh, Melanie.
So obviously I didn't see your watch your video yet, so we might have said that before, but some people asked earlier if they can bring their sheet music on stage if they like.
Yes.
I think it's a good thing too.
Yes. My main concern, and I think music team's main thing, is we want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want everybody to feel comfortable. And if there's a song, if, for example, there's a song and it's a song that you aren't as confident with and you want to bring a score up, then that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. However, you want to practice holding your score at a level so you can still see whoever's conducting and look at your score. Otherwise, that might cause problems. But yeah, it's absolutely fine. We'd rather you enjoy it, because otherwise, if you stand on stage, you don't know the words, you get stuck. That thing you've been waiting for 2.5 years, you end up not knowing the words and getting upset. And what should be the really enjoyable performance wouldn't be. So I think it's more important everyone feels comfortable. And if you need scores, you can have scores. The only thing you can't have scores for is just look around you. Karen got the joke. Because there isn't one. Yay!
Unless they made them themselves, or
well, if they did, then they're terrible people and they can't have them. But yeah, so scores are absolutely fine. Just look around you. I'm hoping that you all will have learned it. And that is one that I would like us all to be looking upwards and not necessarily staring at a word sheet. But everything else, even if you're on stage, I'd rather you enjoy yourselves and have score if you need one. Debbie Claire Neath.
And you probably just need to mention at this point that we aren't giving them any scores, that
No.
if they want them, they've got to bring their own. So don't think
Yes.
that there'll be any there. Just mention that.
Yeah, because we have potentially, if you class sing-alongs, we have about 25 songs, a lot of which are about 10 to 12 pages long. And we maybe have 150 people who might want that. You can do the maths on the amount of printing that might not be required. So if you need a score for a song, you do need to bring your own, okay? I'm aware that if you've got limited luggage, but therefore, hopefully paper shouldn't be as problematic. Or if you are problematic, what you want to do is shove it in your underwear. There you go. You can keep it in there because they won't weigh your underwear and your undergarments. There you go. By the way, don't try that because you'll get paper cuts. But yeah, so we won't be able to give you scores for everything. Just because it's just logistically, it's just too many pieces of paper, and also an awful lot of wasted paper if people don't need those songs and those scores. Next question. Kerry Lavington.
Will we be running through all of the Christmas songs as well?
Yes. Yeah, in the collective Christmas cracker, we're going to basically, we will be singing along to ourselves. So the sing-alongs and the collective Christmas cracker, we will be singing along, but our audio version of us singing will be on that. So we'll kind of be singing along with ourselves. But yeah, for the collective Christmas cracker, it will be like a Christmas concert in August. So yeah, so it will be, that won't be necessarily like everybody being on stage, but that will be basically a really fun, go through our Christmas songs, wear Santa hats, have mince pies, do festive things in August, and all will be well with the world. So yeah, we'll go through, I think it's all Christmas songs, the 2 from last year and the 3 from the previous year. So I think it's 5, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 5 that we'll be going through. as far as I'm aware. But I will double check the exact ones we'll be singing. But we do have a list.
Sorry, Simon. I thought there were 8 in total. There were 5 one year and 3 last year.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, because I will need to therefore do a bit of planning and what on earth we do with the solo lines of Happy Christmas War is Over. Because there's solo lines, isn't there? And the choruses that sang that. So yeah, okay. So some people will be randomly walking forward and singing solos, to be decided who those people are, Karen.
Okay.
We'll sing all 8 of them. I think it's only Happy Christmas War is Over that had solos, so we'll work a way that we'll have people to do the melody part. Michael Dodd.
I think they've recently been put on the app, Simon, along with the others.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
I think they're on the app now. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but we'll be running through the 8. But don't worry, even if you only know half of the notes and words, they're on the recording anyway. So the idea is we have fun singing them, as opposed to the ones we really focus on are the ones in the show. All the other ones are, we want to sing those songs together, but the idea of learning all 27 songs we've sung or whatever and trying to sing them like fresh, it would probably be a little bit much. So we're just gonna have fun singing Christmas, and we'll probably have some Christmas poems, and I might dress in a Santa outfit, grey my beard up. I don't know if Santa outfits come in my size, but we'll see, won't we? Or I could dress up as an elf. I'd be like the world's worst Christmas elf. Don't you make that face, Debbie Clenny. I can see you there. Excellent. I could dress as Mrs. Santa. That'd be okay, wouldn't it? Anyway, sorry, cross-dressing Simon, over and out. Any other questions, my lovelies? Aviva.
Do you happen to know what time our Christmas celebration will begin on Friday?
Yes, strangely enough, I do. Do you know why I know?
Why do you know?
Because I've got the timetable, I know.
Because you're in charge?
Well, you use the word in charge, you know.
Loosely.
Loudest voice in the room, just about. The Christmas Collective Christmas Cracker is 5:30 on the Friday, and it will be finished by 7. So 5:30 to 7, it's a 90-minute Christmassy event, and we'll have some fun things and some songs. So if you think it's 8 songs, there'll be other things as well as the 8 songs, but it'll be festive and it'll be fun. So yeah, 5:30 start, and there's a break before it. There's a break at 4:30 where people, because that's basically to give people the chance to eat. That's when some of the food is there, but also if they have slightly more, shall we say, interesting costumes to get changed into, they will have time for a full costume change if that's what they want to do. If you don't, however, haven't got room for costumes, you don't have to, it's fine. I can bring some talcum powder and just sprinkle it over you and call it snow, or I can scratch my scalp really hard and then you can call that snow as well. There you go. What? I won't do that, by the way. It's fine. But yeah, so you don't have to wear costumes for Christmas, but Susan Campbell's going to. That's okay.
This will be my costume right here.
And that's perfect. A Santa hat is perfectly acceptable. A bit of tinsel, you know, you can go big, small, anything is fine with me, my lovelies. Anything at all. So yeah, so that's 4:30 to start getting ready, 5:30 when it starts, 7 o'clock finish. And yeah, all's good with the world. Next question. Kath Tyler so wants to. Kath Tyler just wants to have a question. Sorry, just your finger was doing this. I was like, Kath Tyler's going to go for it.
That was tumbleweed.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just kind of wondering if you could ask another question. It's like silence.
No,
was just...
I don't actually have another question, believe it or not.
Well, that means we must be doing something right then. We must be doing something right. Karen Penker.
I'm going to help back to the Afterglow. I'm assuming, because I've not actually looked at the Little Theatre, which is probably my bad, but I'm assuming that the Little Theatre has a bar that will be open for the entirety of our Afterglowing
yes.
extravaganza.
Yeah, the bar
Fantastic.
on the Friday, the bar will be open from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night. And that coincides with Debbie and Donna's social quiz on the Friday.
Yay.
So you can use alcohol to get you through that. So I'm kidding. It will be marvelous. It will
Might
be
get some
marvelous.
answers
but
right.
alcohol will make maybe it even more fun than it's already going to be. So the Saturday, the bar will be open at 6:30. More or less, that's for the audience rather than you going and getting some courage before the show. But officially, the bar will be open from 6:30 till 11:30 on the Saturday. So at the interval, the bar will be open, and afterwards, the bar will be open as well. So it's open for quite a long time on the Saturday. And on the Sunday, the bar will be open from 6 p.m. So that's when the big thing finishes until 8 p.m., which is when we actually finish. So there are a couple of hours at the end of the weekend. So that 3 times the bar will be open is those 3 evenings once we get to the end of those sessions and before the show and in the interval. So yes, there is a bar and they sell alcohol, and alcohol is a bad thing, but for some of us, we quite like it. Michael Dodd.
Just for those people coming from across the pond, okay, just check on how you pay for things, okay, in our country. We are very much contactless these days, very much cashless, credit card based. So you may want to check how you intend to pay, whether you want to actually get money or whether, I'm not sure about American Express. Does anyone know about any American Express? I'm not sure whether it's that good over here.
Whether some places take it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's highly unlikely the little theatre will take it because of the amount American Express charge. So I think that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
And it's unlikely if you use Apple Pay or Android Pay, and that's through American Express, that won't work either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Little theatre will, because of the kind of venue it is, it will take card, but I can probably guarantee it will take cash as well in the little theatre. I'm not saying it's not up to date and technological, but it probably will take cash as well. But it's useful just generally in Leicester. Cards, again, most places, blip and you're gone. Most places will take cash, but it doesn't happen as often, but most places will take cash. But just be aware that, yeah, Visa credit cards are fine. Visa credit cards, Visa debit cards, MasterCard is still fine and stuff like that. It's only American Express, which is always, from when I was a little lad, always been a problem with it being taken or not taken, dependent on charges and stuff like that. Susan Talbot.
I'm sure most people are aware of this with your credit cards, but if you travel to a foreign country, there are often extra charges. And if you call your bank, you can possibly get a travel card that will not charge you that extra 2 to 3% on every purchase that you make. So check with your credit card carriers that you plan to use and see if you can use your card without a penalty overseas.
Cool. Check on that. Karen Penketh, then Debs Lindsay.
There's also an app called Revolut. If you download Revolut and you can put your money, you can put English money into Revolut, and that's a contactless. If you pay with your phone, you can pay that and you don't get charged anything on top of that. I'm assuming it works for American dollars, Canadian dollars. I know it works for Europe. Cool. So it's quite a cool Revolut thing.
Revolut.
You actually your own change. You change your dollars into pounds.
Your own exchange bureau.
Yeah, you exchange them before you do that, and then you can pay with it. So you have to put money on it. Yeah.
Put money on it in the currency you're paying, which in our country is pounds, folks. Pounds, GBP, Great British Pounds, not the weight. Although Americans, you generally use cups. Doesn't make any sense to me. Cups. What size cup? Do you know what I mean? My cups are really big. They're like mugs. Never works. So next question. Deb. Oh, I said Deb Lindsay tonight. Deb Lindsay.
Well, I was going to say that if you do like ATM, you get the charges, but I think you might be right. Sue, that it's for any, but there's something you can do to not get it. The 3% or whatever it is, transactional fee, but I can't remember what it is.
It depends on the card you get. Some banks have travel cards specifically for that purpose. So just check with your provider and see.
Cool. Aviva, then Carol Gass.
If Carol had something that was on topic, I can wait.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I have an Amazon Prime card. It's a Visa card, and there are no fees to use that overseas. So that's, if anybody has that, they might want to know that.
Cool. Excellent. Good stuff. Aviva?
Okay, I just wanted to offer something that somebody told me would be really cool for people to know. We are not getting international service on our cell phone because it's insanely expensive. What we are doing is my husband got a SIM card that is based in the UK. And when we get there, we're going to activate it. And there are companies that do that. Sometimes it's through your travel provider or through your cell provider, and sometimes it's through whatever's local, but you literally just put the SIM card in. We'll activate it when we get to London, and then we will have local cell service rather than international cell service. So if that's something that has been giving people angst at the cost of international cell plans, take a look at that. And if you need more information, I can hook you up with my husband because that is not my domain.
So if anyone wants to hook up with Aviva's husband,
oh yeah, you can have him.
There you go.
I've had him for 30 years. Take him.
Yeah, have him. Yeah. Secondhand. But yeah, so no, that is true that like SIM cards and stuff, you'll be able to do that. Even if you did that, you'd be able to do that even when you got here, because you can walk in a supermarket and buy a pay-as-you-go SIM, which will work. But again, just depends on your handset, whether it's locked down to certain SIMs. But it's nice to look into it beforehand, and then you'll be fine. But again, a lot of places, obviously not Little Theatre necessarily, but quite a lot of places do have free Wi-Fi. So if you needed to do something, we could point you in the direction of the nearest free Wi-Fi area. But yeah, that's a really good point, Aviva. Good stuff. Next question, lovelies. Is there another one? Sarah.
This is on behalf of Caitlin. Do you know how many youth are going to be coming for live?
Collective youth, we have Miranda, Joey. So yeah, Miranda, Joey, Caitlin, Davinia. We've got Sophie Gassend. There might be 6 of collective youth coming along. My daughter's going to be there. I think Eleanor, my daughter's going to be there. I've told my daughter Eleanor she has to bring my twins. So my twins are going to come and do the youth thing. Who knows how that's going to go? Probably badly. But there we go. And then also there's other young people from Leicestershire who are being invited to do the youth a cappella thing. So we're hopeful that we'll have some extra numbers there. So yeah, it should be good fun. And the people who are taking that is myself, Nikki, and Gail, and Miranda as well. But like the adults in there will be myself, Nikki, and Gail will be the ones who are there for that youth a cappella thing.
Awesome
stuff. Next question, lovelies. We've made it to an hour and 15. So not long. Oh, Kath Tyler. She's in there.
This isn't really a question in that respect. It's more of an offer. But if you need people to meet trains, then I'm not that far away. I mean, I don't know what I'm sure you've got that planned as well, or you are planning it, because it sounds like you've planned everything else. But it doesn't take me I'd probably just get on a train from Loughborough and hang around Leicester Station.
Hang around looking problematic.
Back to Loughborough. But I could do it. So please call me.
I think looking at it at the moment, we've got people coming at different types of times. Yeah. But if we find a time that we can't potentially be at the station to meet people, again, my little tour said that the likelihood is that we're going to have at more popular times, we're probably going to ask people if they want us to meet at the station, then we can wander them to wherever they're going. If we are struggling with getting people for a certain time or spot, then obviously we might put it out there to obviously people like yourself who might be able to assist with that, who are in the Leicester area, so that no one's getting to the train station on their own. Even though it's not much of a walk anywhere, it's always nice to see a friendly face when you get somewhere. We can't at the moment guarantee it, however, in like things like all the airports. So obviously us getting to every airport in the country might be a little bit more problematic, like setting up camp at Manchester Airport and Gatwick and Heathrow and East Midlands, and like sitting there just waiting for when someone turns up. But the train station, possibly even bus station, we can do it for that. When people get to Leicester, we can certainly be looking at doing that, and we'll let you know, Kath, if we need some help. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Debbie, you had your hand up for a second there, my love.
Yeah, just to add to that, I've took the whole of that week, the whole of the week before live off, and I intend to spend a lot of it trying to help people get from the station to their hotels and stuff. So I mean, obviously there might be other things I'm given to do by Simon, but I'm planning to help as many as I can because I live there. I'm 10 minutes from the station.
Sponsored
and
run.
I have no life.
Sponsored run. I think, Debbie, I want you to do a sponsored run the week of Collective Life to raise money for orphaned kittens. There you go. That's your job.
The only running I do is if somebody's chasing me.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Which also doesn't happen.
But yeah, so I think there's quite a few of the music team as well who'll be around in about a few days beforehand, who've potentially said that they can help out with things like that. So we've got, again, when everyone fills in the attendee form, we're going to know when people generally are arriving. And again, if people want to put on the Collective members page in that week, if you put when your train's arriving, if you haven't pre-booked a train, if you put it on the Collective members page, then someone will see that. So if you say, I'm going to be getting into Leicester at this point of time, at this time and this day, once you get here, even if it's only a couple of hours away, if we can get someone down to the station to meet you with a couple of hours notice, we will, because that's our job.
Aww.
And it's very reasonable rates. Very reasonable, as in nothing. There you go. Carol Gass.
Yeah, so how long a drive is it from Heathrow to Leicester, approximately?
A drive? I don't drive.
90 minutes. As long as you don't do it at 5 o'clock at night, 90 minutes is usually it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Next question, my lovelies.
Don't have any.
Well, we are doing well. We've answered a lot of questions. Hopefully, we're feeling folks a little bit more kind of relaxed about things, knowing the timetable, knowing some of the stuff, knowing that we'll again, what we can, again, I'm going to bring it back to the mantras. We can only, as music team, do what we can when we can, but we're going to do as much as we can, as often as we can in like before live, to make sure that it's as stress-free and supportive as we can. If we can do it, then we will do it. So, yeah. But if we can't, it's because we can't, not because we're nasty people. Well, not all of us. Any questions, lovelies? Paula Allen.
Anybody know if chargers are the same for England and Germany?
No.
They are not the same? Melanie
No.
says they're not the same.
No, one second.
They're not the same.
No, they are not. 1 second. This is a British plug. That one.
I will show you.
That's a British plug.
And this.
And the Europeans have funny 2-pin ones.
It's not funny. Jeez, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well. It's like that.
Yeah, so British plugs are odd. No one has plugs like, well, some people do have plugs like the British, but yeah. So that's a British plug. It's that little triangle funny thing there. But even in the airport, you can get relatively inexpensive converters to convert your normal plugs to British plugs. So Mike
Most
Dodd
hotels
has
have
one.
them too.
Mike Dodd currently has one in his hand.
Yeah.
So he has a little one there, which is just a standard converter. So you can do that. It's because Mike Dodd spends quite a bit of time in Germany.
Have they changed in the last 15 years?
Well, English plugs? No.
Okay.
They
I'll
haven't
go look
changed
them
in an awfully long time.
Do they still drive their cars on the wrong side of the road? So why would they change anything?
On the correct side of the road, the correct side of the road, Petra. Everything the British do is the correct way of doing it. Is
Yeah,
such a lie.
On that side, that's what I said in the chat. Yeah, I always have to remind myself to look at the wrong side of the road when I'm crossing a road in England,
Yeah.
because the cars come from the wrong side.
Yeah,
So just
well,
have to
I was
remember
quite
all the time.
thankful that nobody who's watched my, I'm sure someone will, and I'll tell you all, if you look, let's just say that I didn't stop at red light. The red man says, don't walk across the road. I didn't stop at any of them to make sure I got continuity in my movements. And I have to say at one point, a car narrowly, and this actually was narrowly missed me, but it was kind of my fault because it was a red light and I was walking across the road in front of traffic. But I thought it was important that the video didn't slow down. So I risked myself for the positive of that video. You're welcome. But yeah, so do look both ways just to be sure. Always look both ways, partly because some British drivers, they don't know what side of the road they need to drive on either. Debbie Claire Neath has her hand very, very much up.
Back to the charger situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one end of it that goes in your phone and the other end tends to be a USB. That's the same everywhere. So you're not necessarily going to need to worry, because a lot of the hotels have a USB charger straight into the wall nowadays to charge your phone. So if it's only phone charging, then don't worry too much. I've got about 11 of our USB plugs. I'll bring them to the little theatre. You can probably find places around the theatre to charge your phone as well. So
Yeah.
don't worry
In
too
our
much about
merch, again, in our merch area as well, we'll probably have a plug socket near there, so we could even have a mobile phone charging station, and we'll have something to charge Apple devices, something to charge like phones with USB-Cs or micro USBs, and then you can always bring your phone and we can charge it for you for a little while for a reasonable fee of £0 and 0 pence. Next question, Karen Penketh.
It's not a question. It was more following on from what you were saying about crossing the road in England. If you cross when the man is red, it's not a fine. It's not an illegal thing to do. It's not jaywalking. You can cross the road whenever you like when it's clear. You don't have to wait for the green man. But I will say, I'm not a Leicester person. I'm moving there slowly, but I do know that they don't really take much notice of red lights in Leicester. They go straight through them. The drivers, that is.
That's mainly the bearded machine.
Oh, that's him, is it? Yeah.
Well,
so they're not great. So watch.
Yeah. What he says,
ways.
the bearded machine, the simple tones, and I'm going to do an impersonation of him. He goes, "You can't stop at them all, mate. You can't stop at them all." Yeah, that's his opinion on red lights. Can't stop at them all. He says it's guidance. He said guidance more than anything. Guidance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do always want to look both ways. If it's a green man, still look.
Yeah.
Just to be sure, still look.
Leicester green is red.
Indeed it is. Indeed. Yeah, but it's not illegal. So you can, and you don't have to go to an appointed crossing point to cross the road either. You can cross at any point on a road. Just do it somewhere that's marginally safe. Yeah. Next question, my lovelies. Deb Linda's got a question.
Yeah, it's actually not really a question. It's a statement, and here it is now. I have an charger that, like, you slide it up for the UK or for China or for, it's like the different. So they have like one block that goes for many countries, and I got that a while ago. I'm sure it's still available somewhere. And as long as I still have the floor, since I didn't ask a question, it's becoming more and more clear that I just can hardly, like, in my little brain, contain how much work everybody's done to pull this off so far. And I'm just I'm really grateful and kind of amazed that it's happening.
Well, it is happening, and it's gonna be fab. And there's a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of work been done, and there's a lot of stuff that's still going on. But we're gonna make it best event it can be, and we're looking forward to it. And like I said, if there's stuff that you need, if there's questions that haven't been answered in this session, then again, once we get that document out that Debbie's going to send me, if the question isn't answered and there's another one you come up with, then again, pop up the members page or ask in a session or whatever, and we will then try and find an answer for it. And if we can help with it, we will. But obviously, we can only do as much as we can. But we're trying to do our best to make it as stress-free as possible. So. Excellent. Any questions before we finish? We're now an hour and almost an hour and a half now. We've only got officially 5 minutes until it's lights out. We've done well. We've answered lots of questions, asked lots of questions. How's your typing fingers, Debbie? Good stamina. She's got good stamina. Excellent. Well, I'm going to say that I think we'll call it 5 minutes early and gain ourselves 5 minutes. The videos of the youth a cappella information video is still on there, so that's freely available to watch. The little mini tour is freely available to watch, and it won't go anywhere. It's just open. And the collective live information video also freely available to watch. So if you haven't watched any, it's just on the Mr. Lub music channel, but they're all linked on the collective members page on Facebook, but they're also just on the YouTube channel as well. So you can watch any of those things if you want to go over anything, if you want to go back and have a look at the timetables and stuff like that. You will get a printed timetable in your welcome pack, so you don't need to like pause the video and write everything down. But if you want to go back in and pause and kind of look and start thinking about your timetable and what you want to do, we've baked in a lot of time where you can do things. So because we've got repeated sessions, we've got repeated sing-along sessions, we've got repeated education sessions, we've got these kind of things. You have got time to basically tailor your timetable, so you have time to do the things you want, and you have time to basically do everything and still have some time to have a rest. So although the timetable is very full, there's lots of repeats of things, which means you're going to have enough time to get yourself some food, have a little bit of a rest, have a wander around Leicester. We will probably be, we're going to be around during the week. So if there's possibilities of even seeing people during the week before live or the week after live, possibly some members of people will be around and about. So again, it's all good and we're looking forward to it. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much to all the music team. Thank you, Debbie, for typing everything out. Thank you all of you for your very sensible questions. Not one silly question was asked, but that's mainly because there's no such thing as a silly question. But thank you for making the questions completely logical and very useful, I know, for everyone. So thank you very much, and we will see you soon. And the positive thing is, video sessions for Just Look Around You start tomorrow. Video sessions for online attendees start tomorrow. There you go. See you later. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Very helpful.
Do for everyone.
Doot.
Ian, I have a question for you. Ian, I just received a friend request. Is that you, or are you hacked? I can't hear you, hon.
Still recording.
Oh, yeah.